Here we go. G'day everyone, I'm back on the show floor at EGX Rezzed with Simon, the creator of Maia. Now, there is an earlier video on the channel that talks through the basics of Maia and why it's so cool, so go check that out before you watch this. But now, we're going to talk through some of the deeper aspects of Maia, such as how was it working with a 50-person team to create the engine for Maia?
Yeah, so I did it from scratch on my own, as one does. But I wrote the engine from scratch because I really wanted to put in all this crazy simulation that I couldn't do if I had to work within someone else's thing. Because at any pixel on the screen or at any point in the game world, I can get exactly how many lights hitting that and the energy of that light. So if I want a solar panel and I want it completely accurate, I can actually simulate that accurately, or I can figure out the humidity of a single pixel in the game world, or anything like that I can do. And again, it's like complete creative freedom to kind of work on my own and solve problems in ways that other people probably would have spent a lot more money and time on.
This is a concept that strikes a little bit close to home, having working at Unknown Worlds and working with Natural Selection 2's development, where we did our own engine as well. That was Spark. I've seen firsthand how difficult it is, what the challenges are, and the long nights that can produce. But I mean, Max Maguire, the technical director at Unknown Worlds, he had a little bit of help. He had Deshaun as lead engineer for him. He had Steve, Dr. Steve, who came in to help. So there was a little bit of a team around the Spark engine. Simon, do you ever feel like creating your own engine on your own, does it feel a bit lonely? Do you wish for a team around you?
Oh, well, now that we have the internet, I mean, I don't have to be lonely. And of course, coming to like Rezzed, I can see all my developer friends, and they come over and they tell me all the errors and bugs that they see that no one else sees. And we being indie, I actually have a small like Oxford Indies where we meet up and we look over each other's games. So we still have the kind of environment that a lot of other games developers have, but we also have a lot more freedom, so it's kind of cool.
Fantastic. Now, Simon mentioned that there's a lot of detail in every pixel of this game, and that can be retrieved by the game, and that can actually produce gameplay. And I've seen that firsthand. I have seen how the lights can affect the way the AI will work in a room. They won't tend to work in a room with no light. They want light, and that's very interesting. On a technical level, that sounds like a hell of a lot of computation. Does this cause performance issues for you?
Yeah, it did at the beginning, but actually, you know, with modern computers, there's a huge amount of grunt, and with a lot of games now, you know, we've got the new console generation coming out, and there's with good multi-threading, you can kind of just throw problems at the computer and it sorts it out. I mean, you can run this game on a low-end Intel graphics card now, and that will actually work, and it will run, and it will play at like 25 frames a second. So having my own engine means I can just like cut out all the cruft I don't need and just get it running really nice and sharp.
This is a fantastic concept because a lot of the time in gaming we don't push the boundaries. Yeah. We you know, the linear first-person shooter often doesn't push the boundaries. They might be pushing the boundaries in terms of graphical fidelity, but in terms of what gameplay we can get out of increasingly powerful computers, this is a tremendously exciting concept. Speaking of gameplay, to close off, do you have any particular game design theories that inform the way you make games?
Yeah, well, I really hate the way that sometimes we just use GUI and user interfaces just to kind of solve our problems without actually thinking about how could we actually just do that within the game world. It's like having a narrator in a film. I'm too lazy to really show this to the audience. Well, I'll just throw in some GUI. So instead of that, I kind of decide I'm going to show it to them, I'm going to let them hear it, and then if they still don't get it, they can maybe mouse over and get a little bit more information. And I think a lot of developers need to start like thinking like that and just stop solving all their problems with a spreadsheet.
Simon, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you. Maia is an outstanding game, and thank you so much for showing it to us.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Maia is a space colony management simulator. It's Dungeon Keeper's interface with Dwarf Fortress's crazy detail.
My first impressions of Maia is that it's really cool